Join us as we search Alaska and beyond for mysterious creatures, featuring Beans Baxter and Rob Roy Menzies. This is the Alaska Bigfoot Studies. Special treat for you guys. I am here in Thailand with my buddy from college, Matt Lawrence, the designer of the Bigfoot logo that you guys all love. And we're getting a new design coming up in a new patch. So that's going to be cool. But we're going to continue with a Bigfoot Shapeshifter theme video. But there's 3 points I want to talk about. We are going to get into his encounter. But one of the things he mentioned last night, and we were in a taxi, and we're in Thailand. He's lived here for like a decade. It's just living like a king.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's great out here.
I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, right now we're sitting in front of the big Buddha here in Pattaya, Thailand, which is a beach town. Yeah. Lots of crazy nightlife. It's kind of like the Las Vegas of Thailand. If you guys have ever get a chance, come on out here. It's very fun.
I'm not interested in it, but anyways, I had chills down my spine when he reminded me of the dark feeling. We both went to school in Durango, Colorado. Mm-hmm. The college was up on this mesa that originally had burial mounds or something weird. And this place was cursed. And he mentioned a really strange thing that happened to him. And I started thinking about it. Weird stuff happened in my dorm room. Once, me and my roommates were drinking. You know, we were kind of out of it. I had this cat that I snuck into my dorm room. It had a harness on it. And it would do shit like we would see reality warp in front of us, and suddenly its harness would be in a chair leg that, you know, never came off the ground, but it would be wrapped around it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, my friends would look at me with just this weird, scared look, and I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
It was really odd, but you had a weird experience of like some voice.
Yeah, I lived in a place that, for lack of a better word, I guess I would call it a poltergeist, because I would have things moved around my room all the time. Like, for instance, I always kept these sunglasses in the same spot on a nightstand right by my door. And so I would set the sunglasses down, and one day I went, took a nap in my bed, came back, tried to find my sunglasses so I could go somewhere, and they were just gone. Couldn't find them anywhere. 2 weeks later, these sunglasses reappeared inside my bathroom bag. And there's no way I would have not noticed this, because they're sitting right on top. And I get in this bag 3-4 times a day to like brush my teeth, anything like that. Reappeared like that. It was nuts.
Yeah.
And I would have these weird sounds. It sounded like a ton of rats that would just crawl through the walls really fast. And this sound would happen like a very definitive start and stop point. And you could hear the Doppler shift, like in a car when it's, the rats were coming that way. But the worst of it all was I had a girlfriend at the time, and we were sitting there together in the bed, and out of nowhere, this voice just manifests in the middle of the air. And if you guys have ever seen Lord of the Rings, what it reminded me of was like the ring wraiths from Lord of the Rings. It was, yeah, some crazy sound like that. And the thing said 2 or 3 sentences, and then it was gone.
In English or?
No. I'm pretty good with languages. I know I can spot a, Asian language, European language, Slavic. Right. Nothing that I've ever heard before.
Wow.
It was its own weird alien language. I don't know.
That whole place was cursed. I picked up some like old Anasazi related shards that were, 700 years old, put them in this tin. My friends were like, no, don't do that. Kept them in my apartment, and then I had some pretty screwed up dreams. And once I got rid of that, it went away. So when he told me that, chills just ran down my spine. Now, we're going to talk about the encounter. I'm going to call this creature a shapeshifter. I don't like saying the word S-walker because my native friends and Navajo friends told me not to say that word. It's not as bad during the day, but especially at night, don't say it. But this is a weird cryptid encounter. Tell the story.
Yeah. So this is, again, in Durango, Colorado, and I'm from a small town to the west called Mancos. And again, with the same girlfriend that I had at the time, I would take her to go visit her grandma during the weekends while I worked. And so I went to pick her up, and then we decided that, hey, why don't we do a little camping? Because I always kept a sleeping bag in my SUV. And so well, yeah, we'll go up to the national park there. And so we drove up there. It was the middle of winter. It was quite cold, January, February-ish. And so we pulled over and we parked. And if you guys are in a cold environment, you're going to know that as you stay in a cold car, then the insides frost up eventually, right? Yeah. And so as I was laying there, I'd rolled over on my key fob and locked the door from the inside. And I'm drifting off to sleep, and I hear something hit the top of my SUV, like a pebble or something being thrown at it. It's really strange. And it woke my girlfriend up, and she's, what was that? I don't really know, maybe something falling out of the tree. And I got to thinking, there's no trees here. It was just open air above us.
Yeah.
And then I hear it again, a little tick. And then I hear in the snow, we had about half an inch of snow, one stealthy foot crunch.
Oh my God.
And then she starts screaming, oh my God, there it is. And I'm like, what? And she points at the window, and she's like, it's looking at us right there. I didn't see anything because I was looking at her. She's like, it's right there. It's huge. Whoa, shit. And she's like, get us the fuck out of here. I jump in the driver's seat, and then I turn on the car, but since I had the key fob locked, if you don't unlock it, then it starts the car alarm. So I turn on the lights, the alarm is blaring, and in the front of the windshield, there was just enough where you could see a little bit still. It hadn't fully iced up yet. And so she looks out, and I was screwing with stuff, so again, I didn't see this. And she saw it run across, and she described it as being 7-ish feet tall. It was very slender. It was bipedal. And so I didn't see any of this. I kind of assumed she was sort of crazy, you know, who knows. We drove back home, and then the next day was the crazy part, because right above where this thing was supposedly looking at us, there was claw marks all over my car. But what was really strange is that it was 3 fingers and a thumb. It wasn't 4 fingers. So I don't know what that could have possibly been. And it was also like it had sandpaper or something.
Wow.
Like not like a direct slash or anything.
Right.
And so I bring her over, and I was like, well, take a look at this. Something was there, right?
Yeah.
And it couldn't have been a bear or anything like that, because if that would have jumped up on the car, it would have just rocked the whole thing. I mean, this thing was stealthy. It knew what it was doing. It was definitely intelligent.
Right.
And so then, like, I mean, it was probably 7-8 months later, I was washing my car at my parents' house, and I told my mom about it, and she's kind of like, I don't know. I was like, oh, look at these scratches. It's weird. She's like, yeah, it is a little strange. I'll admit that. So as I'm washing it, I get up on top of the wheel well to wash the top of my car, and I see 2 giant scratches that came all the way on the top of my car. Oh.
Oh, no. Just ran out of batteries.
Oh.
All right, we'll keep it going. So much for AI. Okay, continue.
Okay, so yeah, I had not noticed those scratches before, and so what that said to me was that this thing, I mean, I had a Honda Pilot, so it's a fairly tall SUV.
Yeah.
And it must have been about 7 feet tall to be able to scratch like that.
Right.
It had to have been very tall, and I mean, it had fingers and a thumb. I don't know what that could possibly be.
And were there some tracks? You went back like the next day and?
No, I never went back there.
Oh, okay.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I probably should have.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I never even thought about that.
Right.
But it would have been a smart thing to do to go back there and see if there was tracks.
Now you told me that she, when she saw the face, all she saw was like some crazy eyes and like the shape of a face.
Yeah, she didn't see any definitive facial features or anything like that. She just saw eyes and a face, and couldn't really give any more of a description other than it was very tall, very slender, walked on two legs.
Right. Did she say it was hairy at all, or?
No, didn't really see anything like that.
Okay, just a shape, an outline of it.
Yeah, more like a silhouette.
So that is really strange. That is not a classic big, massive ape-like creature like a Bigfoot. This is more like the shapeshifter creatures, a Wendigo.
Yeah, that's what I call it, is the Wendigo.
This like a spiritual creature, something that I don't know.
Walked in from another dimension. I have no idea.
Totally.
And it's a very strange area down there. you can feel a kind of spiritual darkness. There's, I mean, you have deep underground military bases all over the place. It's smack dab in the middle of Roswell and Area 51.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the American Southwest for sure.
Yeah, and that sounds like a shapeshifter to me.
Yeah.
So very cool encounter. Well, we'll keep the videos going, and check out Matthew Lawrence Art on Instagram if you want any type of work done. He designed my Chuke patch.
Yeah.
And a new one coming.
Absolutely.
All
Looking
right.
forward to it.
Thanks, guys.